This is my sketchbook. It is a field notes book inside a Lockbee mini field journal. This is the book that I intend to fill up with all kinds of different drawings and sketches. The sketchbook is great. I've got it all set up. Got a pencil, got a pen. I even have a backup notebook in there. The issue I have with all of this is this. I have only put 1 or 2 drawings in my sketchbook so far. I want to change this. How do I do that? I want to draw more. Somehow, along the way, I lost touch with the hobby. I always like to think that if I carried a pocket notebook when I was younger, when I was drawing all the time, I would have filled them up at 10 times the rate that I fill them up now. And it would be almost exclusively with drawings. I've been drawing as long as I can remember, really. I literally can't remember when or how I started. Either way, drawing has always been a big part of my life. How did I lose touch with this hobby? What went wrong? After the very early days of my drawing life, I kept on drawing. I was always encouraged to draw not only at home, but at school too. Not by most of my teachers, because most of the time I was drawing on the assignments they had given me. Through the years, I kept drawing here and there. Pretty much all the time on something, whether it was an assignment or a sketchbook. And after a while, I got pretty good. After years, and by years I mean most of my life, drawing for fun, I decided I would pursue drawing somewhat professionally by going to college. And at this point in my life, I had started my YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, and I had been making videos for about a year. And at that point in time with making videos, I was taking that pretty seriously too. I got to college with intentions to major in art with an emphasis in graphic design and illustration. I had all these really neat classes too. Drawing, 2D design, art history. Although art history was probably the most boring class I think I've ever taken in my life.
I'm in the middle of this Zoom call, and I just can't.
So with all of that, a large percentage of my day was taken up by drawing. Additionally, a large percentage of my drawing was under a microscope, so to speak. As I reflect on my time in art school, I realized that not only did I prefer making videos, I also didn't really like having my art as a scheduled assignment. I felt like I wasn't as free to make what I wanted when I wanted. So long story short there, I went ahead and dropped out of college. Wasn't for me. All of this to say, since that point, since I left college, I've done very, very little drawing. Matter of fact, it's probably the least amount of drawing I've done, say per year, my entire existence. And this whole not drawing thing, I want it to end. So how do I plan to develop or redevelop this habit? I want to draw a lot more, but how do I do that? With today's sponsor, Skillshare, I'm getting the answers to that question. Skillshare offers a ton of different classes for creative people just like you and me. Among these classes, there is a wide variety of drawing classes. My number one concern at this moment in time is to develop a drawing practice. So going through my Skillshare account, I found Tom Froze's class on how to develop a sketchbook habit in 30 days. In his class, he goes deep into how to be more intentional about drawing every day. Not only drawing every day, but setting up a plan to make sure you can stick to it. One of the things in this process he talks about is sharing your drawings, whether that's posting them on Instagram or whatever. And this idea lends itself quite nicely to Skillshare's learn by doing approach. Members can not only take the classes, but each class has sort of a class project. As a member of Skillshare, you're able to take the class, post pictures of your class project along with everyone else's projects. That way you can kind of talk together and see what everybody's working on. If you want to give Skillshare a try for yourself, Use my link in the description, where the first 500 people to use said link will receive a 1-month trial of Skillshare completely for free. Okay, so let's get the sketchbook back out again. And I'm going to put my Skillshare class knowledge into action. Now, first thing, I want to plan out my drawings for the next 30 days. This field notes, I've only used a couple of pages, so let's just plan to fill up the notebook. Okay, so one of the big messages in this class was to make a plan for what to draw every day instead of just kind of going in each day blind. The mission now is to come up with all these ideas. So the first idea is to draw whatever's directly in front of you. In this case, it would be this little bottle of whiteout, but we're not doing that just yet. I'm just getting the ideas down. With a plan in place, I feel pretty confident about my ability to stick to it. There's still one problem I foresee. My sketchbook usually lives in my mini field journal, which is in my nutsack. That's the bag. That's all fine and dandy, except that I only ever really go in there to get my keys or my earbuds. So the issue I've been facing is the issue of convenience. In order to properly develop this habit, I need to make drawing as easy as possible. Obviously, I could draw on my daily carry, which is just my field notes I write in all the time. But I want to keep my drawings separate. That way, if I want to reference back to them, I know exactly where to go. It's not just randomly in a notebook. I usually carry my everyday carry notebook in my pocket organizer. Let's try this. Huh. I actually had no idea that would work. That's kind of amazing. So by carrying my sketchbook with my everyday carry notebook, it's always going to be there when I pull my notebook out to write something. So in a way, I'll kind of be forced to at least acknowledge my sketchbook and have it in my hands, which would make it so much easier to draw something in it. Plus, by having all my pages labeled with a drawing prompt that I come up with, I will already have an idea to draw something and I won't need to come up with anything. So, for the next 30 days, maybe more, I will do a drawing every day. In order to keep you guys in the loop, I will post each drawing on my community tab. That way you guys can see what I'm working on, what each of my drawings are. And I think that's going to work out pretty well. I'm looking forward to developing this habit and hopefully getting back to drawing the way I used to. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring another video. Guys, go to the link, get your free trial. It helps the channel out a ton. So thanks again, Skillshare, for sponsoring the video, and thank you guys for watching.